Hello, 7th and 8th graders, and welcome back to school. My name is Miss Lemons, and I'm going to be your math teacher this year. Before we begin our expectations and course navigation, I wanted to tell you just a little bit about myself. So, I have a dog. That's this top picture. His name's Rocky. We like to run together. My favorite hobby is to travel, whether it's exploring a park nearby or going to another country. So the picture on the right is a waterfall in Canada. And then the absolute favorite place I've been to is Italy. So this picture on the bottom comes from the Colosseum in Rome. And lastly, of course, I love math. I also coach the math team here at Heritage, and last year in the Southeast Metro Division, we took 3rd place overall. And that's our trophy on the left. I'm excited to get to know all of you as well, so please join our Google Meets. The link is on Canvas. Use the code ROOM164. That'll be our room number when we're back in school. Hope to see you then. All right, so here's what your schedule is going to look like during distance learning. You will log into Google Meets and see your teacher face-to-face for every class, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. If you think you're going to forget that, notice this picture at the bottom here. You can use your clock app on your iPad to set a reminder for when each class starts. So if it helps you to set a reminder so you remember to join the Google Meet, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you will meet with first hour at 9:30. You'll meet with second hour at 10:25. You'll meet with third hour at 11:20. Then you have homeroom. And then fourth hour is 12:35. Fifth hour is 1:30. Sixth hour is 2:25. And seventh hour is 3:20. One of those should also be lunchtime. You only are required to stay for 10 minutes on the Google Meet, but then you can feel free to reach out to that teacher for the rest of the hour. All right, so when we're on a Google Meet, what are some of our expectations? The camera, though required for some classes in the spring, is now optional. Our goal is that you're there. You can turn your camera off, and we are going to respect who has their camera on and who has their camera off, and not ask why someone chose to do one way or the other. Feel free to join, leave your camera off. A fun thing to do if you are going to leave your camera off is make an avatar or use like your picture as your profile so that we can still see your face. All right, another expectation is to be on time. Please log in at the class hour. I only have 10 minutes with you, so I want to use all 10 minutes. Another thing, if your camera is on, make sure you dress appropriately. You can be in your PJs, just make sure your PJs are appropriate. This is still school. All right, also use the chat appropriately. What does that mean? That means when I say type something in the chat, you're typing that in the chat and staying on topic. You can shout out to your friends at the beginning of class, but once we start going into content, don't use it to say hi to your friends. All right, lastly, be present. We're gonna talk day 1 on the Google Meet what it means to be present, but mainly this means being on time, listening to the Google Meet, what's going on, staying off your phone, and staying on topic. All right, so here is our Canvas homepage. If you go to your Canvas app, you need to click on Intermediate Algebra, and it should bring you directly to this page. This is our homepage. To navigate daily assignments, you can do one of two things. You can either click on the current module and look for the assignment with today's date, or you can go to Announcements. Announcements will be organized by the date, and in the date, the assignment and everything you need for that day will be linked. So let's see what happens when you click on Announcements. All right, when you click on Announcements, you can see them up here on the left, organized by the date which they were created. So if you're looking for the assignment for September 14th, Monday, first day of distance learning, you're going to look for the announcement with the title September 14th. Then you're going to click on that announcement, and inside that announcement, it will tell you what you need to do for the day and have a link to the assignment. Each assignment will be made up of 3 parts. We have the learning target, the lesson, and the assignment. The learning target is the goal, what we are going to learn that day. The lesson will consist of a video. On days that there's notes videos, you are expected to follow along with your own notes. I will attach a PDF that you can download into Notability, follow along that way, or you can always write in your notebook. On days that there's a Khan Academy video, those will almost always be optional. I'll make sure I say optional. You are expected to watch the notes videos. Khan Academy, most likely optional. But lesson will probably be a video. And then the assignment is what you need to complete and submit for that day. So here's our assignment for September 14th. The learning target is I can understand Canvas expectations of intermediate algebra. The lesson is to watch this video on how to navigate our Canvas course. And your assignment today is to post in the 2 truths and a fib discussion. So here's a link to that. And then also to complete the first day survey, there's a link to that as well. So you have 2 things to complete or submit today, both a post in the discussion and the first day survey. And your only lesson is to watch this video. All right, a couple of more things. If we look back at that homepage, there were a couple main items you could click on. We covered what happens when you click on module. That's where you're going to find the work you're expected to complete for the class. Another option to click on is the class notes. These are organized by chapter and include all of the completed notes for each section. And then we have links. This is going to be some key links for the course. Once we're back in person, I'll show you how to use the textbook. That's linked there. IXL is linked there. So let's see what happens when we click both of those. This is what the class notes section looks like. Notice there are buttons that lead to each chapter. So once we start week 2, all of the chapter 1 notes are going to be in that chapter 1 section there. They're labeled by section and they're the completed class notes. And here is the links page. In the next slide, I'm going to cover the online textbook. So what happens when you click this link? There should be PDFs in each assignment, but in case those PDFs aren't working, this is a good backup to use the online textbook. Also linked here is IXL, the MCA calculators, which we're not going to worry about until the spring. And then if we were in person, I like to offer some extra things to do after quizzes. So that button has some puzzles, word searches, etc. All right, so when you click the online textbook link, it will lead you to Safari and a page that looks like this. Instead of typing in a username or password, you are going to click Log in with Clever. That might lead you to a page where you have to click Log in with Google, or you might have to search our school district, which is West St. Paul. You're going to log in with Clever, use your school email. Once you're logged in with Clever, the Big Ideas Math online site looks like this. No matter what your homepage looks like, there should be some option with different apps to click on. You are going to look for this one, Student Dynamic Ebook. You're going to click that. And this is the Student Dynamic Ebook. A couple things I'd like to point out about this page. Up here, there's a page number. You can click that and type in that and go to any page you want. So if your assignment is on page 16, click that, type in page 16. It will bring you there. You can also zoom in and out using these buttons if you need to see it better. One thing that's worked well for students in the past is they'll actually screenshot the textbook page and then download that image into Notability so that they can write on it. That's also a quick way to go back and forth from questions to what you're writing on and then submit that into Canvas. All right, and last but not least, I am a firm believer in growth mindset, meaning that mistakes help us learn, and when we learn from them, we're only better for it. So after each chapter test or quiz, I'm going to allow test corrections. Here is our test correction procedure. You have 1 week to complete test corrections. You can get help from anyone. So use your resources. You can use classmates, parents. You can email me for help. Or you could even use Google. And once you find the right answer, on a separate sheet of paper, you're going to first label which question it was. That's hugely helpful in me for giving you points back. So number the problem question. You're going to rewrite the question. You're going to show the work for doing it the correct way. And then write a couple sentences explaining what you did wrong and what you needed to do to correct it. So write enough to prove that you understand it now. Not going to be super picky on that, but you do need to show the work for the correct way to solve it and write a sentence or two explaining what you did differently. You can earn half of the missed points back. So say you got 6 out of 10 on a quiz. That's 60%, that's a D. You do test corrections for all 4 problems, and you get half of those 4 points back. So half a point for each 4 problems is 2 points back. You just raised your D grade to a B. So these can be super helpful in raising grades and also learning from the mistakes, so that when we move on to more difficult concepts that build on what we're doing now, you understand it better and are able to do the more difficult concepts. All right, thanks for watching the welcome video. Again, feel free to email me with any questions, and I can't wait to see you all in class.